I think one of the most humbling things to go through is getting compared to someone that is just tragically ugly, like gutter ugly. And the reason I bring this up is because the other day I was compared to someone that, in my opinion, is pretty ugly, and it humbled me to my core. Walking back to my apartment when this random kid stops me on the sidewalk, and he's just like, yo, you look so familiar. And I thought he recognized me from social media, so I was just like, well, I do social media, you may know me from there. But he was like, no, it's not social media. This kid goes on to be like, it's a movie character, you look just like him. But he's just like, let me think. So I'm just waiting there, waiting for him to come up with an answer. Now, the reason I gave this kid the time of day, why I didn't just walk off right then and there, is because my delusional self thought that this kid was going to tell me that I looked like a young Leonardo DiCaprio or like a Chris Hemsworth. But looking back, I couldn't have been more wrong. This kid finally goes, oh, I know, you look like the lollipop kid from Shrek. In the moment, I did not know who that was, but when I came home, I looked it up. And what the I don't look like that. That's not even a real person. Guys, please just tell me I don't look like that. Even if you're lying, just for the sake of my ego. If you're gonna show someone photos on your phone by scrolling through your camera roll, please just take it from me and check what's in your camera roll before showing them. Because the other day, I did not do that, and it ended very badly. I showed a side of myself I did not want to show. To set the scene, this past Friday, I was in desperate need for a haircut. So I decided to book an appointment to get my haircut. Now, it's important to note that before going to my hair appointment, I decided to collect some images of hairstyles I like so I could show the hairstylist so they could do it to me. So that's what I did. I went online, I figured out I wanted a mod cut, I found a bunch of images of mod cuts, and I saved them so I could show the hairstylist later. Fast forward, I'm at my haircut appointment, and the stylist is just like, oh, what hairstyle can I give you? I pull out my phone, I open my camera roll, and I pull up the first image of the haircuts I saved. Now, everything was normal at first until I scrolled to the next image. It went a little something like this. I really like this style, like shorter in the front, longer in the back. If you could do something like this, or if you could do, sorry, I don't know what, or if you could do something like this. I don't know what that was. But yeah, I really like this style a lot. Oh, sorry, this is so embarrassing. Yeah, so like something like this, yeah. Oh, I don't know who that is, but yeah, that. I'm so sorry. Worst part was the hairstylist was like super talkative, and then after I showed her those photos, she was dead silent. For those of you wondering why I had those photos in my camera roll, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. My humor is broken. But yeah, I feel like the haircut was kind of good. I'm still never going back there ever again. I really hope that you guys have not had the misfortune of having to listen to someone sing that just can't sing, because last summer I unfortunately had this misfortune. I had to listen to someone sing that really could not sing, and it was horrible. It was like a trap I could not get out of. I was on this weekend beach trip with some friends, and we were staying in this town where like everything closed at 9 p.m. So at night, instead of like going out, we just hung out on the beach. One night when we were at the beach, from out of nowhere, we hear this like distant, ominous guitar strum, and it was like dead of night, so we couldn't see anything, so we just brushed off like that was weird. But looking back, this was a warning, because moments later I hear another strum, but this time it's coming from right in back of me, so I turn around really quick because I was scared, and it's this dude. He goes, looking for some entertainment, and he strums his guitar, and I like jump. I tell him, we're all like, no, we're good, like we don't need any entertainment. This dude that looks damn near identical to Bobby Hill from King of the Hill goes on to be like, trust me, my voice is like velvet, you're gonna want to hear this. And he proceeds to sit down with my group, using my friend's shoulder to help him get down, and my friend's just looking at him like, what are you doing, man? Anyways, he starts like tuning his guitar and like warming up his vocal cords by humming as if he's about to give us the best performance of his life. He's going like A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Fast forward, we've been waiting there like 5 minutes as he's been warming up, and he finally looks up from his guitar and he's just like, are you guys ready? And we're all just like, yeah, sure. Before he starts, he prefaces and he's just like, I don't know about you guys, but have you ever felt like the bad guy before? He then goes on to perform a stripped back, slowed down version of Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. He was just like, I'm the bad guy, duh. It legitimately sounded like he was trying to sing in cursive while eating yogurt. Worst part though, after this dude finished, after he got done with the song, me and my friends didn't even clap. And he goes on to be like, yeah, my dad always says I sound like Frank Sinatra. I'm just thinking like, what alternate reality is this dude living in? Anyways, throughout the rest of the trip, every single night, me and my friends see this dude performing for random strangers with the same song on the beach. I think we need to bring back shame. Why did no one tell me that the Annabelle doll escaped? Like the possessed doll that all those Annabelle movies are based off of is just out in the world? For some godforsaken reason, someone decided to take this possessed doll on a US tour. And when they were stopping in Louisiana, the doll went missing. Apparently there was a fire in the hotel that they were keeping her in, and she hasn't been seen ever since. And people think Annabelle, the doll, started the fire. And at first I didn't believe it, but then I looked into it a little more. The first accounts of this doll being like sentient is when this mother purchased the doll for her daughter back in the 70s from this secondhand store. And as soon as she gave it to her daughter, it caused havoc on her life. Apparently, whenever this girl would leave her room and come back, the doll was in a different place. She also said the doll would leave her written notes. Also, she'd just wake up with like unexplained scratches. The scariest thing in my opinion though, there was this one night that she talks about where her friend was staying over and he was awoken by this doll attacking him. Pretty sure that was the moment when they decided to donate the doll to the paranormal museum, and now we don't know where she is. And even scarier, ever since Annabelle escaped, people have linked her to a string of crimes up the East Coast. Now, normally I don't fall for these things, but I won't lie, I'm a little scared. And I do like the Conjuring movies, but I didn't think it would be my real life. There was a time when I didn't believe people who'd say runners are crazy. Like, I didn't think that just because someone liked to run, it meant that they were crazy. Like, I thought it was kind of ignorant to make such a broad statement about such a large group of people. That's until I started joining run clubs and realized they are crazy. You see, I've been running long distances ever since I was a kid. And a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I should join some run clubs because that's the adult thing to do, to join a run club. So that's what I did, or at least tried to do. I went online and I found this list of a bunch of run clubs in my city, and I was thinking like, oh, awesome, because they had a run club for pretty much any special interest you could think of. They had a club for runners who drink beer, runners who had dogs, runners who travel, you name it, they had a club for it. But one club caught my eye. It was a club for runners who like film, and I love film, so I was like, I'm gonna join that one, thinking nothing of it. Fast forward like a week, I go to the meeting point of this run club, and I'm thinking that we're gonna like go for a little run and then go to the movie theater or someone's house to watch a movie. Update, I was wrong. So I'm at this meeting point with all these other people in this run club when suddenly the run club organizer announces to us, she's just like, thank you so much for coming out. Today we are going to be running for 82 minutes. And I was just like, huh? Because I was thinking like, why are you leading with the time and not the distance? But I was like, whatever. And I brushed it off. So we start running. We're in like a little pack with the run club organizer in the front. And tell me why she pulls out her phone like this and she starts playing the first Final Destination movie. And in that moment, I realized that this club wasn't for people who liked film and running. It was for people who liked film while running. And it was crazy because people were legitimately pushing each other out of the way so they could get a glimpse of this little screen bobbing around. And at first, I thought it was a joke, but these people were genuinely trying to watch this film. Even crazier though, as we were running through the city, there was a guy running with us holding a Bluetooth speaker so we could all hear the movie. And if you don't already know, the Final Destination movie has a lot of screaming in it, so I'm just surprised we didn't get the cops called on us. Anyways, believe it or not, I actually stuck around for the entire run because this was just so entertaining for me. And at the end of the run, the club organizer goes, thank you guys so much for coming out. I had so much fun with you guys. Make sure to come next week because we're watching The Godfather. I was just thinking like, that is a 3-hour long film and it's so slow paced. Why? That being said, I did not return to that run club because I'm not about to run for 3 hours. Believe it or not, I've tried other run clubs, and that is just the tip of the iceberg of the craziness I have experienced. Have you guys ever been forced to listen to somebody's diabolical music taste? Like someone whose taste in music is just absolutely sickening? Because the other day I had to, and it was horrible. It was borderline torture. Now, for context, my friend and I were driving to the beach, and before leaving for the beach, my friend and I had agreed that I could aux for the first half of the trip there if he could aux for the second half of the trip. And the beach is like an hour away, so that meant that I had the first 30 minutes to play my music, and he had the last 30 minutes to play his music. Fast forward, we're driving to the beach, and I'm playing my music, and it's important to note that my friend is like hyping me up. He's dancing around, he's asking for song titles, like he's being very nice. But eventually it is his turn to play his music, and oh my god, guys, first song, I kid you not, is Moonbeam Ice Cream Taking Off Your Blue. Now I'm thinking this is like a joke, but then I turn to see him like tapping his steering wheel going like mystical magic. Now, somehow, I was able to sit through that entire song, only for the next song to be just as bad, if not worse. He starts playing that song that goes like, boy, mad, boy, mad, boy, mad at you. At this point, I'm thinking, like, should I tell him to stop? But he was so nice about my music, and he's driving. Like, that would just be wrong. Looking back, I should have told him to stop, because the next song he plays is the bar song. Unironically, played the bar song. For the rest of the ride, this dude, my friend, goes on to play the song that goes like, texting my phone, hey Pookie, APT, Flowers by Miley Cyrus, and so many more bad songs. I swear my brain got smoother on this trip. To make matters worse though, we had the same aux situation on the way back, and he played the exact same song. But yeah, I didn't know people like that were real, but they are. They're living among us. I've recently learned the hard lesson that if you think someone you know has gotten plastic surgery or like a body modification, no matter how close you are with them or how close you think you are with them, you cannot point it out. I don't care. Even if the change is glaringly obvious, you cannot acknowledge it. And I would know because I acknowledged my friend's body modification and it did not go well. The other night, a girl I've known since childhood invited me to her house party, and I decided to go because we go way back. She's like another sister to me. So fast forward, I get to her house and I knock on her door and she answers the door. And one of the first things I notice is boom, boom, she's pierced. And I know how it sounds. I'm not being weird. I've known this girl so long that even if she gets a new pimple, I notice. Nonetheless, I don't acknowledge anything and I just say hi, give her a hug, and then I went into the party. Quickly realized that a lot of people at this party had piercings, like not just here, but everywhere. They are what I would call punk. So I talked to some punk people, I had a couple drinks, and then I get to talking to my friend again, just me and her. Now, I remember my friend telling me that she was really excited to get pierced there. So I tell her, I'm like, congratulations on finally doing it. As soon as I said that, she goes, don't say another word. And then she pulls me aside to where no one could possibly hear us. She goes, Mark, you cannot tell a soul this, but I did not actually get them pierced. She goes on to tell me that she's wearing a bra that has like fake piercings in it because she was too afraid to do it for real, for real. She was just like, I just wanted to look cool in front of my friends, but I couldn't lie to you. And after that, I felt bad because I shouldn't have even acknowledged it. But yeah, I didn't even know they made bras like that. Like that seems just so niche and specific. This is a public service announcement that just because you saw someone do something on this app or online in general, it does not make it a trend. It does not mean that you should go out and do it yourself. And the only reason I bring this up is because I saw someone this past weekend participate in a trend and it did not go well. I was at the park just relaxing, trying to get some sun, when out of nowhere, I hear this music, but not just any music, some wonky music. So I look over to see where this music is coming from, and I see this dude, this child spinning a speaker around playing Mystical Magical by Benson Boone. But the music is all distorted because he's like spinning the speaker on a rope, going like Mystical Magical. And as soon as I like realized what was happening, I was like, oh crap, I gotta duck and cover because I've seen the videos before and I know what happens next. But before I could do anything, this kid lets the speaker go and it just goes flying. And luckily it did not hit me and it did not hit anybody else, but it went far. Now, unfortunately, I think the success of that throw inspired this child because I proceed to see him do this over and over and over again. And everything was fine at first. That's until I hear someone scream from the other side of the park, Fido! I look over and I see the speaker flying, and then I see this dog running to go catch the speaker. And this dog is like the same size as the speaker, and I just know the future was not looking pretty. So I'm like watching this in slow motion. The owner's there, they're horrified. The kid's there, he's horrified. I'm there, I'm horrified. And the inevitable happens. This dog gets rocked by this speaker and it hits the ground cold, all to the tune of Mystical Magical. So I'm just watching this, tears filling up my eyes like, Fido? But a couple excruciating moments later, Fido just miraculously wakes up. He just gets up as if nothing happened, picks up the speaker, and just walks away as Benson Boone is still playing. I swear, it was divine intervention. And when I say Fido's owner tore this kid to shreds, she tore him to shreds. But like, imagine if Fido didn't wake up. How would you explain that to someone? It would be like, so there was this flying speaker and it was playing Benson Boone. Like what? Have you ever met a self-proclaimed nice guy, like a dude that unironically describes himself as being a nice guy? Because this past weekend, I met one of these nice guys and it was wild. It was Friday night and me and 3 of my buddies decided to go to the bar. So we went to the bar and we actually sat down at the bar, and we all got our own little drinks, and we minded our own business, or at least we tried. That's until out of nowhere, the bartender hands a drink over that we did not order to one of the girls in my group, and she was just like, I didn't order this. And the bartender was just like, oh, the guy in the back sent it over, and she like points to it. So we all like turn to see who this dude is, only to see the human embodiment of Humpty Dumpty. Like, I'm not even trying to be mean. This dude just looked like Humpty Dumpty from Shrek. And to make matters worse, when he sees that my friend is looking at him, he goes like this, like a cat. And we all just like looked away really quickly because we didn't want to egg him on. Anyways, my friend doesn't drink the drink, and we all just want to forget about it. So we all start talking about something else. Moments later, my friend gets a tap on her shoulder, and guess who it is? It's Humpty Dumpty. He goes on to be like, I see you're enjoying your drink. Meanwhile, the drink is still just sitting there, untouched, sweating condensation on this bar top. But my friend's nice, and she's just like, yeah, it's really good. He goes on to be like, it's called the gin sour, one of my favorites. What brings you here? And I'm just thinking, like, what brings us here? Isn't it obvious? We're at a bar on a Friday night. Like, we're trying to have some fun. But my friend, she has way more patience than I ever could. And she's just like, oh, I wanted to hang out with some of my friends. What brings you here? I kid you not. He goes on to be like, I'm looking for a high value woman, and I'm trying to decide if that's you. And I'm just thinking, like, what? Who says that? But my friend, trying to end the conversation in the nicest way possible, she's just like, oh, like, I don't think I'm what you're looking for. And then this Humpty Dumpty dude goes on to be like, oh, so you're not high value. I lost it right then and there, and I butt into their conversation, and I was just like, no, man, she is high value. She just doesn't value you. And also, nobody says high value in real life. I was fuming red. This dude goes, listen, man, I was not trying to offend. I fight for women every day. I'm a feminist. And he holds his fist up like this. And I asked him straight up, I was just like, how do you fight for women every day? Because I wanted to see this man flounder. He goes, well, I am in HR, and there's like a lot of discrimination. And I could just tell he rehearsed that in the mirror. Fast forward, he eventually sits back down, and throughout the rest of the night, he continues sending these gin sours to my friend. And she's just not drinking them. So at one point in the night, there were just 4 untouched gin sours just sitting in front of her. Nonetheless, there was a point in the night when we looked back and he wasn't there, and we were like, thank God, like he finally left. And that's when we really started digging into him. Like, we were tearing into him. We were making jokes. We were like, Humpty Dumpty this, Humpty Dumpty that, because we thought he had left. Update, he didn't. I distinctly remember going like, oh, he's just so annoying, and my friend going, exactly. And then to our surprise, we hear a very familiar voice from behind us. And it was the Humpty Dumpty dude, and he was just like, I see how you guys really feel. And he just left the bar in a huff. And me and my friends were like, oh shit, but we didn't feel that bad because he was acting like a weirdo. It doesn't end there. Me and my friends were at the bar for like another 20 minutes, and then we got an Uber to leave the bar. So we went outside to wait for the Uber. As soon as we leave the bar, we hear this dude's voice from outside, and we look over, and it's him. He doesn't notice that we're there, but he's talking to his friend, like recounting what he experienced with this girl, my friend, but from his perspective. He was just like, you know me, man. Like, you know, I'm a nice guy, and I was so nice to this girl. Like I called her a high value woman. I got her 4 of my favorite drinks. I was so nice, and she didn't even give me her number. She just made fun of me. And it was just so crazy to witness this, because this was just such a delusional perspective. Anyways, the Uber came, and I don't know why my friend did this, but as we were leaving, she rolled down the window and she went bye and waved to him, and he noticed. So now he knows that we know. But yeah, I just don't understand how you can consider yourself a nice guy and be acting like that.